Okay, with Elisabetta Zavoli, filmmaker from Italy, a 9-minute short film, The Fisherman, The Alien, The Sea, played at the Documentary Film Festival. What an interesting, terrific film. So the first question I ask is, what is The Fisherman, what is The Alien, and what is The Sea?
Okay, let's start from the end. The sea is the Adriatic Sea, which is a part of the Mediterranean Sea. It's an area that have seen, especially the last year, an invasion of an alien species, which is actually the alien, the blue crabs, the blue crab. It is an alien species to the Mediterranean Sea because it comes from the Americas Atlantic coast. So I expect, you know, it very well because it's very popular in the east states of the US, especially Maryland and so on. But it arrived in the Mediterranean Sea probably in the 20th century in ballast waters of cargo ships. And here it is an invasive species. This means that has no predators, and because of its higher rate of reproduction and voraciousness, its population boomed in certain area, thus posing real threats to the ecosystems and the local economy. And the fisherman is a young fisherman of one of the most impacted area in the Adriatic Sea, who found his livelihood basically destroyed by the population of blue crabs last year, and who tried to find a solution by reviving ancient technique of fishing, sustainable technique of fishing that his grandfather taught him, and thus showing us a very strong spirit of resilience facing the threat posed by the crabs.
So thank you for that. So in a tongue-in-cheek, we got to blame the Americans again for another thing, right? The blue crabs. So the Americans, like they had to bring the blue crabs to Europe, right?
Yeah, and actually, as far as I know, in Maryland now there's a shortage of blue crabs, while in Italy and in the Mediterranean area we see a huge increase in blue crabs populations that are destroying our native environment.
How do you
So
get the
it's
blue
like a
crabs
paradox.
back to Maryland?
Yeah, actually, there are quite a few companies, both in Italy and in other countries like in Greece, that are trying to establish a trading of blue crabs back to US, which is possible, of course, but this trade is not fully established. So it is in the first year of work.
It's amazing that like these stories that we like if we didn't watch your documentary, like most people wouldn't know about it. And it's an amazing little 9-minute film talking about this fisherman, and it's through the generations, right? Like fishing it goes like it's through like 5-6 generations, and this is the
Yeah,
hard time.
absolutely.
Like it was good times back in the day, and now he needs to survive. He wants to survive, I guess, right?
Exactly, exactly. He is a fourth generation fisherman,
Yeah.
but he never faced such a threat to his livelihood until last year, when the crabs actually destroyed all his harvesting of clams, because now since 15 years ago he became a clams farmer. So he had to adapt. He had to answer to this threat, and he recovered the memory of his grandfather and the technique they used to use at the time, which were really sustainable because they were really very simple,
Mhm.
but with a very low impact on the environment, comparing to the technique of farming and fishing of today.
So you did a lot of the shooting at nighttime, which is
Yeah.
it gives a whole different kind of vibe and feel to the anxiety and to the aesthetic like that. It's an amazing shot that you have of him like driving the boat. Sorry if I'm not saying it correctly. He's driving the boat and then he's doing his voiceover. He's telling the story about who he is, and you got the lights in the background. That's an amazing shot that you captured. It kind of it's the essence of him, and it's the essence of like where his environment too.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, I shot this film um, working and going out with the fishermen almost every day for all the summer last year. And they usually go to work very early in the morning, which is actually still night. The beginning of dawn, which is really a magical moment in the lagoon because everything is blue and the only lights are the lights of the port. And the scene you told me now, it's actually the moment we exit with the boat from the port. So I was taking a shot of like a kind of portrait of him driving the boat with all the lights of the port reflecting on the screen of the boat, on the window of the boat, and changing the direction with he's driving the boat. So every time he moved, he turned, the lights made this very nice movement on the windowsill.
Yeah, he's a handsomely aesthetically handsome fisherman.
I was very lucky to meet him because there were a lot of fishermen. I work with a lot of fishermen. I mean, I'm a documentary photographer and filmmaker. So to tell this story, I had to view and interview many of them and pass really a lot of time with them to understand their daily life, the challenges of the environment, and so on.
Yeah.
They were all kind of people, but he has really the right personality and this you let me say physique du role. I mean, he was a very handsome guy and very charismatic in a way.
Yeah.
He is also the leader of his community, so this kind of charisma he has naturally, and this made him for me the best character to shoot and to tell the story. And he eventually had this idea of recovering the past technique of his grandfather uh, all alone. I mean, we were just talking about how you can adapt, how can you solve your problems. And he started talking, well, I remember that my granddad used to catch the local crabs, use this technique to catch the local crabs. I think I'm going to try
Mm.
again. So I said to myself, oh, this is a great idea. This show really a strong resilience and very a solution that comes really from the base, from the local people.
Mm.
So I thought about following uh, his idea and his trial.
So how did this project come about? Like, what motivated you to like reach out to him? Did you know him before the film? Like, how did this whole film kind of come about?
No, I didn't know him before this film. Last year, I had this grant from the National Geographic Society to document the invasion of this alien species, the blue crab, into the Mediterranean Sea in Italy, Greece, and Croatia. So to to document all the aspects of this story, I investigated local fishermen communities impacted by the booming population of blue crab, and the community I investigated in the delta of River Po, which is the biggest delta, river delta in Italy and one of the biggest in Europe, was actually the community led by this young fisherman. So it was that I met him because I was there to document the whole story. And when I met him, I said to myself, oh, this is the right person to make the short documentary film on.
Gotcha. And then you just spend like, and then like he was okay to like you filming him all the time? Were you worried that you were gonna get in his way? Like, how was that process?
Yeah, actually, I was at the beginning. I mean, I was. I'm always very clear with my with the people I go to document about my aims and my work. So I'm a documentary photographer and filmmaker. I'm here to document this situation and your life and your. Can I follow your daily life, your activities, and so on. And people usually are fine with me. I never go strong into the situation. I always kind of stay a step back, observing, and let people be comfortable with me along with them.
Mm.
And when we reach this kind of easiness, confidence, and the trust, especially trust, then I feel that I can ask more. So, for example, shooting this film, I shot many of the situations when they were happening, even without asking permission, because I was already granted permission to follow his daily life and his activities. And only when I did really need his thoughts and giving me an interview about his motivations, his idea, that was the moment in which I asked him, okay, let's sit for a while, and I need to ask you some questions, and you will answer me. And he agreed.
What did he think
That's
of
it.
the film when he watched it for the first time?
Oh, he was. Um, he's a very simple but very deep man. So
Yeah.
he was a little bit embarrassed of himself, seeing
Uh-huh.
himself in a film. But he was. His eyes were really bright at the end of the screening, and he was very happy of the film and how I told his story.
Yeah, I bet he must have been, yeah, because it's just a really effective film. And then you kind of end the film on a drone, like kind of a drone shot. You start the film in the sea with like the kind of cloudy waters, which is the metaphor for the fishing right now, right? And
Yes.
then you kind of end the film kind of like looking above it. It's like the story's not, I guess the story's not over. You just decided to stop filming, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Your reading of my film is perfect. The murky, muddy waters at the beginning are really a metaphor for the fishing today in general. And it was how to say, the story started really inside the water of the lagoon, where these crabs started to arrive and to to boom in the lagoon. But then, while the story develops, and the fisherman found this kind of light in his life,
Mhm.
the recovering of the antique sustainable fishing technique, there's kind of an opening, like a hope. So we leave from we leave the lagoon up above, and we hope to. I mean, my hope is that fishing now should start back again to find solution for really being a sustainable activity. So for me, fishermen should start to think of themselves like gardeners of the sea, like people who takes really care of the sea, of the ecosystem, not only of the economic activity.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is
That's
the
no, it's interesting because it's you wonder why, like in today's world, like from myself, it's like, why don't we just stop fishing? Then the ocean can be okay, right? But it's not that simple, right? So
exactly.
yeah, it never is. But at the same time, which there's a great message for this guy because he's a businessman, right? And it's also, but he's a legacy, like he's inheriting the business from, from his great grandfather, right, all the way down, and he's got to figure it out. He's got to figure out how to survive, right? Like
Absolutely.
like a lot of small business owners, like he's got to figure out, like, okay, what do I do to survive? How do I figure it out? And it's like, and he's using his mind, he's using his creativity, and that's what you kind of showed in the film, right?
Yeah, and actually, I think that the fishermen, in general, have an important quality in their attitude towards their work, which is adapting. Because if you think that a fisherman at the sea needs to adapt at any changes of the environment, and the sea is unpredictable sometimes. I mean, it's not a steady job in the way of you are certain of how many amounts of fish you can catch. Where is the fish in the sea?
Yeah.
The weather conditions are also very important. So they need to adapt to a living thing every day. And so they have this spirit of adaptation and resilience inside them. You cannot be a fisherman, a real fisherman, if you are not able to adapt to situations, and if you are not able to turn threats into opportunities, or to turn challenges into opportunities. It's inside their job.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, great film. And what did you think about, we sent the North American audience to you in the feedback? What did you think what they had to say about your film?
Oh, they were. I was very happy because those were the first feedbacks I get from people outside my country and outside this community. So for me, it's very important to see that people understood the film, understood the story, and the message of the film. It was great.
And they did. And I'm hoping the film's doing well for you because it's, like I said, it's a really great film and nice. It's just like there's great metaphors in it, but it's just well shot. It's like all around. So you do this kind of all the time. You get grants, you make films. What are you working on now? It seems like you're always working on something.
Yes. Okay, now in these few months, I'm working on distribution of the film and of the visual storytelling I did about this project. And I have already started a new project about a conservation, a project of conservation of the only Italian species of deer remained in our country. Um, it's a wildlife conservation project. So I specialize as a photographer and visual storyteller in environmental photography. So I do projects on environmental issues and wildlife. But I'm thinking and I'm hoping to start a new project still on the blue food, so on fishing and aquaculture, still in the Mediterranean Sea, in the next year.
Yeah,
Fingers
well,
crossed.
you're always doing something, right? So
Always,
yeah.
it's my
Well,
job.
this is an amazing film, and I gotta make, according to the blog interview, you're also a vegetarian too, right? So you don't even eat the fish.
No,
Yeah.
but I ate the crab.
Oh, you
Because
did?
yeah, one of the solution to relieve pressure on local ecosystem is to try to eat more crabs. The more you eat, the more you get you catch from the environment, because now there's really too much crab. So they are really trying to push the human consumption of blue crabs to try to extract more from the environment. So I tried the blue crab, of course.
So you did it for the community. So there's like,
Yeah,
you're Italian. It's like you're all about food. It's like, I'm sure there's amazing dishes with pasta, some
I
sauce,
know.
right? You can
But
make.
blue crabs with pasta is very tasty.
It's
I
very
mean,
good. Yeah, that's what
pasta
I'm
with
saying.
very tasty.
So you shouldn't have a problem. You can kind
No,
of recycle it out there to the world, and yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think
absolutely.
that this seems like a win-win.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah. Now you're making me want. I want to have crab. Now I want crab and pasta, even though it's early in the morning for us right now. So
Oh my God.
yeah, I'm craving it.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very
Okay.
much. Hopefully we get to talk again when you make your next film. I thought this is a great, incredible film. It's perfectly timed. It's just that there's great metaphors. Like I said, I think that there's not a flaw in this film. So I hope it serves you well and gets seen by millions of people.
Thank you very much, Matthew. It's very important for me to have this feedback from you. And I really want to thank you, Toronto Short Film Festival, for accepting my film and let it be seen by so many people.
Of course. All right. Well, let's talk soon.
Thank you so much. Bye.